Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go live on 90.1. The call-in number 601-948-5950. 601-948-5950. You're welcome to call in. We got a show about justice. We got Supreme Court Justice Jim Kitchens. We have judicial candidates, Mr. Yemi Kings and Attorney Yemi Kings and Attorney Bridget Morgan coming in a little bit later on. And we're going to finish off with Mr. Cheney, talking about good things for senior citizens. So sit back, relax, share the video. And again, you're welcome to call in at your earliest convenience to ask any questions you have any of these great justices and judicial candidates that we have today. Yeah. I'm missing something here. Let me get straight situated. There we go. Now we got it going on. So where else you been today?
I started out here.
I saw you on this morning on the show.
And I had luncheon with the young lawyers of Jackson and worked at the court the rest of the time.
Well, you're incumbent, so you gotta work and serve at the same time. You can't just run
with my work.
That's right. That's what we got to do.
Got up at 5 o'clock as usual.
Well, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Still be on track and on schedule. This speaks to your experience.
Learn how to get things done.
That's right. That's it.
I hope Miss Mary let me in the kitchen. Get a sandwich or something.
Man, I wish I could have been at Yemi's. I'm not Yemi's. BJ's balloon release. He has a balloon release right now. A cousin of mine passed away, and they have a vigil tonight at 6.
Where?
It's at 440. It's but come on, it's at 4. It's having to start at 6, so I can't be here and be there at the same time.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
I know. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Reviving Mississippi. I'm your host, DeKeither Stamps. We have a great show lined up for you today. How you doing, Mr. Clark? A wonderful co-host. I'm glad you're well and feeling with vigor.
Yes, sir. Commissioner's always good to be here at 94.1 on Wednesday, sir.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm glad you're. How you feeling?
Hey, man, I feel a lot better, brother.
Good.
Pushing it forward and doing the basic fundamentals, man. Make sure to take care of the basic fundamentals.
Well, as we begin every show, we always want to remember those folks who are going through bereavement.
Yes, sir.
And bereavement is a very trying situation, as we say every week.
Mm-hmm.
For 15 years, we've been saying, take care of folks going through bereavement. Right now, it's even more of a serious situation because when it hits home,
yes, sir.
We're going to dedicate this show to 2 wonderful young people that will be forever memorialized in our hearts and minds. BJ, Tina Carter, 2 wonderful people. I say gone too soon, but it's all in God's plan.
Yes, sir.
And to both the family, Miss Carter is an amazing young lady. My sister and her grew up together. I mean, from kindergarten to junior high to high school to graduating Alcorn State University and then beyond. She's been a part of our life.
Yeah.
I'm 12 years older than my youngest sister. So when I was coming to her things over the years, it has been it's just been one of those journeys. And BJ, everybody knows BJ, great guy. He is a distant cousin of mine, but I met him as a friend as well. And those 2 young people played a pivotal role in a lot of folks' lives. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, after all of the funeral services are over and all of that, continue to be a rock for those families and friends and social networks because they need it.
Yeah.
Specifically to Miss Carter's case, we will get to the bottom of what happened that night.
Mhm.
I guarantee you, with every bone in my body, I and the rest of and Chief Wade will deliver the truth. I know there's a lot of hearsay about what happened on that night, but just know this: from my voice, from DeKeither Stamps, I will deliver you the truth.
Mhm.
The family deserves that, and that's what we will deliver. So just take a moment to remember everybody's going through bereavement. It's too many to call, but it hurts, and you got to be a friend so you can have a friend during your time of need. Underwriters for today's show, Mr. Micheal Jordan, Micheal Jordan Transportation Service. You can go to www.mjstransportation1.com for your transportation needs. And if you want some good food versus fast food, you know where to go. And at point one, we can't tell you to go anywhere because it breaks the rules. But I like to go to Stamp SuperBurgers and get one of them whole cow between two pieces of bread.
Yes, indeed.
I like lemon pepper fries. Mr. Clark likes that whole garden between two pieces of bread.
Need a lot more. Than
That veggie sandwich they got over there. He likes the sweet potato fries. I like lemon pepper fries. Whatever you like. And if you go over there and tell them I sent you, they're not gonna give you a discount. They don't even give me a discount. But I love them anyway. And but more important, I love their commitment to our community and continue to provide quality, great service to everyone. So if you want some good food versus fast food, I ain't got to tell you where to go. We're going to start today's show. We're a little bit late getting started, but we have Supreme Court Justice Jim Kitchens in the studio today. And I know he's been on the radio all day. So everybody who listening, keep listening in because we're going to cover some ground that you have not heard today. So just guarantee you have not heard what we're about to share about Supreme Court Justice Jim Kitchens and the races involved. And welcome to the show, Judge. We
Thank
appreciate
you, sir. It's such a pleasure to be here.
You know, I normally, don't get involved in judge races.
Yes, sir.
Because they can't get involved in my race.
That's true.
But at this juncture is a pivotal point in Mississippi's history. And it's pivotal because we have a choice. And that choice is to keep Supreme Court Justice Jim Kitchens in place at the Supreme Court. And some people ask me why. Why? Well, let me give you some context. In my mind, I don't know everything, but I know some things. And there are 9 Supreme Court justices. So math and civics were classes I kind of excelled in school. Now, if you understand how the government works, you have 3 branches of government. You have executive, legislative, and judicial, each having equal power. That's how our government is built in America, on separation of powers, balance of powers, and checks and balances. Well, to put in context how important a Supreme Court race is, all you have to do is apply a little math, Mr. Clark.
Yes, sir.
Because if it's 9 justices, that means that each one of the justices have 1/9 the power of the governor.
That's true. That's true.
Well, the whole executive branch.
The whole executive branch, not just the governor, the entire executive branch.
You're right.
Because we're in the executive branch of the Public Service Commission.
Yes, sir.
So is the Transportation Commission.
Yes,
So
sir.
is the auditor. So is the Attorney General.
There you go.
Who are not under the purview of the governor, but under the purview of the executive branch. So that's 1/9 of the entire executive branch, or 1/9 of the legislature. So we have, a House and Senate. 1/9 of that would be a good slice of the entire legislature. And that's on the ballot.
That's a great perspective.
When is it on the ballot?
It's on the ballot right now. If you qualify the voter to vote absentee, you can do that if you qualify.
Tomorrow morning.
You can load up immediately, and we want to encourage everyone to do so. Go ahead and get it out the way prior to the election day, if you qualify. Now, if you don't qualify, please don't go down there if you do not qualify. But if you're a senior citizen, you have to work. If you have going out of town on vacation, and you have other things to do, you can express that to them, and then your courthouse and your circuit clerk's office can matriculate that vote for you. And also on election day, takes people out because justice is on the ballot. I think across the central district, we generally have just judge races on the ballot for the runoff. I don't think we have any other races that's in a runoff other than judicial candidates.
Yeah.
So that speaks to the quality of our judiciary and how important it is and how many people want to participate in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to express and give some context to why are we leaning in so hard on these judge races? Because we pay so much attention to the president or the mayor or the governor.
That's
we
right.
pay so much attention to the House and the Senate at every level, or but we do not pay equal attention to the judiciary, who has equal power over your life.
Yes.
So, Judge, I know you've been here before over the course of many, many years. Talk about that equal power that the Supreme Court wields inside of our government.
Well, it manifests itself in a lot of ways, but if one of those officials you named gets in some kind of trouble, or that official is in an election contest and it's appealed from the circuit court, it ends up at the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
So we decide the ultimate difficult questions in our state government that make it into the judiciary. And what we say overrules what any other court says in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And we take that very seriously. It's a solemn duty, solemn responsibility, but it is the court of last resort in the state of Mississippi.
Last resort.
Yes, sir.
So, break down to us the major differences you feel in what you bring to the table versus your opponent.
Well, I'm going to talk strictly about professional differences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever attack candidates, opponents in a personal way. I don't know Senator Branning very well. I just didn't know her at all until this race began. So, she may be a very nice person.
Mm-hmm. I bet she's a nice person.
Yes, I think so. But, we are talking beyond whether a person is nice or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's good if the people in the judicial races and other races are nice, civil people. And I think I'm one of those. But that said, what we are really focusing on now and should focus on is the professional competency of the two candidates. We started out with 5 candidates, and 3 have been eliminated by the voters. And so we're down to just 2 people now. So you've got an easier comparison to make than you might have a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, who is the best qualified by their training and their experience to be on the highest court in the state? I had been an attorney for over 40 years before I ever asked the people of the state to let me serve on their highest court.
Mm-hmm.
During those 40 years, I acquired a tremendous amount of trial experience. I started out when I was 24 years old, being court appointed to represent people that couldn't afford an attorney down in Copiah County where I live. And before I was 25, I had tried 2 capital murder cases to verdict, and I had won both of those cases before I was 25 years old. And I never stopped. I tried cases until I became a justice on the Supreme Court more than 40 years after I started. I tried cases that whole time. A lot of that time I was a district attorney. To this day, I'm the only person on the Supreme Court that's ever been a district attorney. I've been there 16 years, and there hasn't been another former district attorney on the Supreme Court in all that time. So I bring that experience to the court that nobody else does. And then I have defended a lot of people in criminal cases. Most of the time I was court appointed to defend somebody. Sometimes it was somebody I did not like, but I did just as good, just as much work, just as devoted to that client and to his or her cause in court as I was to anybody else that I did like, or maybe somebody that had paid me well.
Mhm.
So I bring that experience. Now, think about our court system. You know, we have a circuit court. That's our court of general jurisdiction. We have chancery courts, county courts, justice courts, municipal courts,
Mhm.
the Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Court. I have practiced in every one of those courts. I've been a lawyer. I've tried cases in every one of those courts.
Mhm.
Now, the fact is that more than, well, between 70 and 80% of all the cases we get at the Supreme Court come from the circuit court.
Mhm.
And this is not a personal criticism of Senator Branning, but she does not know one earthly thing about circuit court other than what she may have learned in law school. She has an academic understanding of it, but she has not practiced law in circuit court. She has never stood before a jury. She has never presented a case in circuit court in the 20 years she's been an attorney. Again, that is not a personal criticism of her, because many, many lawyers, in fact, perhaps a majority of them, don't ever go to court. Everybody's not like Perry Mason and Matt Locke. Many lawyers do all of their work in their law office. And Senator Branning is one of those lawyers. Now, she's had a little chancery court experience, and that's good. She's had some youth court experience, according to her, and that's good. That's good work and things that she should have done. I've done that kind of work too. But Senator Branning has chosen not to be a litigator. In a case where there is somebody on the other side, all she does is transactional work, or at least the bulk of what she does, from what I understand. I've talked to judges and lawyers over there in her district that say she's good at what she does, but she doesn't do but about one thing, and that is close loans on houses. And we don't get that much at the Supreme Court. I haven't seen a single case about that in the 16 years I've been there. She does not go into the major trial court of our state at all, and that's the circuit court. What does that mean? When she gets to the Supreme Court, if she does, most of the work that she will have came there from a circuit court. We don't ever have trials at the Supreme Court. We review cases that have already been tried somewhere in the state. Somebody won, somebody lost, the person that lost appealed to the Supreme Court. And most of those cases come from the court in which Senator Branning has virtually no experience whatsoever.
So those are jaw-dropping numbers when you compare bodies of work and over a lifetime. And I know we've talked a lot about the Supreme Court over your campaign. What were some of the fondest memories you've had over the last 16 years?
Well, every time I do something,
Because facts tell, but stories.
I'm not going to talk about facts. I cannot talk about cases
Right.
we've had at the Supreme Court. I'm not allowed to do that.
Right. That's why I asked you for a story.
But when I know that justice has been done,
Mhm.
and when I know that I have stood up for justice, even though the odds may be against me, even though others on the court may disagree with me, even though I may lose the vote on the Supreme Court, we get a lot of 5-4 decisions. We get a lot of 7-2 decisions on a 9-person court. But when I stand up for what's right, and I write an opinion, many times it's a dissent, but when I cast a vote and express my opinion as to why the other side is wrong or why I'm right, and that gets published, it's a permanent record that Jim Kitchen stood up for justice. And I did the best I could to help the cause of justice and to help the people involved that were in need of justice. That's what makes me feel good, and that's what makes me tick.
Okay. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. You know, one of the more heartfelt things that your family has done is Camp Kamasa down in Crystal Springs, to be able to create a facility, get community support, get statewide support, get national and international support for an idea. Anytime you can, I'm a firm believer that if you can take something out your head and put it on paper, that's a good step.
Well,
you can birth it into something.
I have to hasten to say that the founder, the person that came up with that idea is not Jim Kitchens.
I know.
It's Mary Kitchens.
And I'm going
she
somewhere,
may be
Judge.
mean
Judge,
to me. She may keep me out of the kitchen, but that's a good woman.
But this is, I had a line of questioning. And then what y'all do in the courtroom?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll build up. This is the good work that can come if Judge Kitchens is not in her kitchen. She can go help people. She can.
I'm sorry I stole your line.
I wanted to backstop that by saying you have a great family that's been doing great work for a number of years, and I just would like to see that work continue on both sides.
Well, I would like it to continue too, and I'll say, Mr. Stamps, Commissioner Stamps, that everybody alive that's doing something can be replaced. Mm-hmm. I know that Jim Kitchens is not indispensable. Someday, somebody's going to replace me on the Mississippi Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. Somebody will replace you sometime at the Public Service Commission. Mm-hmm. But I want to know, and I'm sure you do too, that when the time comes for us to be replaced, we want to be replaced by people who know what they're doing. We want to know that they are going to do at least as good a job as I have done, and hopefully better. Mm-hmm. But somebody that doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the professional background to do that, can't help it if they don't. It's not a place where you get on the job training. Right. If Senator Branning gets on the Supreme Court, she can't go to circuit court anymore. Right. She can go now, but she will not be allowed to go to trials. It's outside the bounds of what judges can do. If she goes down to the courthouse, I need to watch a circuit court trial because I've never seen one. And if she goes down to the courthouse and does that, she can't sit on that case. And she's going to get in trouble if she does that, because we can't go out and look at trials. We have to wait till they get to us and see what happened. We can't watch it happen as it's happening. So she will never get any hands-on circuit court experience.
Mm.
Wow. That's heavy.
I was going to say this, even though we're in the information age right now, this good old technology age, I would say. Uh-huh. But with the judges, I'm here right now with the judge saying their experience is something that you just can't get on the job. You have actually been tried, you had gone through the fire and whatnot, though, climbed those ranks or whatnot, though. And I just want to say to the listeners who say, well, I'm not going to go out next weekend, I already voted one time. Mm-hmm. You got to really look at what all of the state right now. Mm-hmm. And judge, nothing wrong with you being a seasonal judge. Now I'm talking about the age. But
I don't mind talking about my age. That's a legitimate issue. I don't mind.
But my thing is the wisdom you need, though. You can't replace that overnight. Okay, then. That's what I'm really saying. There's certain things you can't replace. Mm-hmm. And my thing is that you better maintain what you have there as long as you can until you get a good replacement. That's all. That's what I'm saying. So listen, need to come back out. They need to be stressed and come back out with not, because you just don't know what all is at stake right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, the political pundits, the pollsters, the people that watch politics, they're out there thinking, and Senator Branning and her supporters are hoping they're right, that there's going to be a great fall off in voter turnout from the November 5 election to now. Yes, and one thing they think that I think is going to be proven grossly untrue is that the African-American voters won't come back to the polls. I don't believe that. I've seen it happen before. I saw it happen when Justice James Graves was in a runoff back in 2004. And there was an overwhelming turnout of African-American voters in that race in a runoff just like this one. So I've seen it happen before, and I know it can happen again, and I believe it's going to happen. I think people are concerned now. I think they realize how vitally important this race is, not because of me, but because of the quality of justice that the people of Mississippi can expect out of their Supreme Court if I'm there or if Senator Branning is there.
That's right. Well, Judge, you got another question?
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner.
I just want to say hats off to a great campaign, because I look at campaigns all the time, especially ones in the Central District, and to see the work that you've done over the last 17 years. You started running a year or so before the first election. and to see the work you've done over the years, inviting church groups, inviting community folks down to the Supreme Court, folks who probably have never and would never had that experience to see what goes on there. Hats off to that.
Well, thank you. My greatest joy along that line is having high school kids and junior high kids, middle school kids, even little kids come to the Supreme Court. Most people don't even know where that building is or what's in it. But we get kids up there. I get law student interns on my staff. I like to help young people learn the law. But kids that come there on a field trip leave there knowing more about the court system probably than their teachers did before they got there. So I like doing that. I've done a lot of that over the years, and it's rewarding. I have just really enjoyed seeing the kids develop, and some of them come back later and tell me how much they appreciated it, and they tell me I'm in law school now. And so that's happened several times, and that's very, very meaningful to me.
It's definitely encouraging for the future, planting seeds for the future, mentoring, all of that is part of the great work you do. Last question I want to have, or statement, you can respond as you wish. I see you have an extreme sense of duty. And I look at your record, look at your life, look at the work you've done over your lifetime. I see a supreme sense of duty. Talk a little bit about what you feel duty, because it's one of the things we are losing in today's society. People go this way or that way, but duty is what folks should respond to, because we have a duty in these roles. We don't just have to do the job. We have a duty that goes along with the job.
Ultimately, our duty is to God, and God has left me here for some reason, and He's given me good health and strength that I have now for some reason. And I think that I have a duty to Him to do my best. My dad used to ask me if I had done my best, and I'd say, yes, sir. He said, well, that's all you can do. But Jimmy Carter was asked when he was being interviewed to go into the nuclear submarine service by Admiral Rickover if he had always done his best. And Jimmy Carter had to say, no, sir, I haven't always done my best. And Rickover, the admiral, said to him, why not? And Jimmy Carter wrote in one of his first books that he never had gotten over that he could not get past the fact that admiral had asked him why he hadn't done his best.
That's right.
And he didn't have an answer for him. So I try to do my best. And there's an old hymn we used to sing, give of your best for the master. And that's the first thing. But I want to give of my best also for the people of Mississippi. I want to serve the people of Mississippi. And the Bible tells us if we've done it unto the least of these, we've done it unto Jesus Himself. So I'm not trying to get overly serious or theological about it, but that's really how I feel deep down inside. I want to serve people. I've been able to serve them, and I don't find the word retire in my Bible. I want to keep on keeping on.
Hey, like the song says, I'm gonna serve until I can't.
That's right.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have runoff elections on Tuesday, but if you qualify to vote early, definitely exercise your right ahead of time. But more importantly, shake some people. It's time to do some couch kicking to get folks off running. So, Judge, as you finish up today, what last parting words you have with the citizens and what you want to tell them?
Well, remember that this is the Central District. I'm going to read the names of these counties real fast if you let me do that. If you live in any part of these counties, there are no partial counties. These are all whole counties. And the counties are...
Oh, we got a caller here.
Oh, excuse me.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. What's your question or comment?
Yeah, I got a question. Well, it's kind of a question, but really, Judge Hitchens, I must be honest. I've never really heard of you until I started seeing your commercials on TV. But they're very amusing, trust me. Great commercials.
Thank you.
But I asked around to a few people before I voted about you, and they all told me one thing: he's fair and he's honest. And I voted for you because of those people. And I know we got the runoff, and listening to you on the radio station now, hearing another side of you other than commercial, just let you know that I'll be there to vote again.
God bless you, sir. I appreciate that, and please take somebody with you. Let people know how vitally important this is to our state.
Oh, yes, so me and my wife, we go together. So just wanted to let you know, commercials are amusing, but to hear this other side of you, I'm glad I got to hear this side.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you for calling in, sir. Yeah, and it's always good to get phone calls like that. Sometimes you're talking on the radio, knowing folks listening, and I appreciate anybody that's want to call in. Call number 601-948-5950. More people got this number saved in their phone than they have.
These are the counties: Bolivar, Claiborne, Copiah, Hines, Holmes, Humphreys, Issaquena, Jefferson, Kemper, Lauderdale, Leake, Madison, Neshoba, Newton, Noxubee, Scott, Sharkey, Sunflower, Warren, Washington, and Yazoo. If you live anywhere in any of those counties, you need to vote. You can vote if you're registered to vote, and please do it sooner rather than later if you can. If you're 65, you don't have to have a reason to absentee vote. If you're not quite 65 yet, and I don't see but one fellow in this room that is 65. But if you're not 65, you have to have a reason that you're going to be out of town, you're going to be out of your county, or you think you're going to be out of your county. You may be wrong. Something may change. That's the reason we need to go ahead and do this, because things can change over the space of a few days. The 26th, you can vote at your regular polling place. Until then, you can vote at the circuit clerk's office in your county from 8 to 5 on Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday, and from 8 to 12 on Saturday of this week.
Well, we appreciate you, Judge, for coming by.
I appreciate you more.
Now next week, we're gonna have a victory celebration on the radio. I want to invite everybody out to the Sleep Out with the Homeless. It's on election day every Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So this time we're gonna have something to celebrate Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So I look forward to continuing to work hard.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Mr. King. We got a few minutes left to go on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. So tell the folks what you want me to do and when you want me to do it.
All right, I'm Attorney King, so I'm running for county court judge. First, I want to thank the voters for coming out on November the 5th. I want to ask y'all to come back out on November 26th and vote for Attorney King for Hines County Court Judge.
So tell the folks what is the differentiating characteristics you have between you and your opponent.
Yes, I'm the most experienced candidate on the ballot. I got the most years of experience, the most county court experience. I've handled thousands of cases in the county court, and I'm the only candidate that has worked in every division of the county court, in every seat of the county court. We got 3 divisions. We got youth court. I'm currently a youth court prosecutor. I've been a youth court defense attorney. I'm also a youth court mentor in our Second Chance program. We got a criminal division. I'm currently a criminal county court prosecutor. I've been the county court public defender. So I worked in both sides on the criminal side. Then as a civil attorney, I've been a civil plaintiff's attorney and a civil defense attorney. I've represented people, businesses, government agencies, school districts. So I have experience across all areas of the county court. I'm the only candidate with all that experience.
Well, we appreciate you for coming through. I know we got started a little bit late on the show and we kind of pushed back a little bit. But and so what are some of the precincts that are in this district?
Well, let me tell you the areas while I put up the precincts. So we got Georgetown, Shady Oaks, Sunset, Northwest Hills. We got the Queens. We got West Jackson. Then we go down to South Jackson, down to about Wingfield, District 68. Then we got a little bit of Oak Creek and Willowwood.
Okay, that's about what I remember. Cedar Hills too.
We don't have Cedar Hills, but the precincts are Jackson Medical Mall. We got 31 precincts. Jackson Medical Mall, Wells United Methodist Church, Cherry Grove Church.
Hold on. All these folks are going to come in to vote anyway for the Central District. So let's just start there. If you pick a ballot up, vote.
Yeah. All right.
At this point, because we got races in all across the state. So
Yeah.
I don't mean to rush you, but we're kind of behind on time today.
Okay.
And thank you for coming by. Just tell the folks what you want to do.
Yeah, asking for all the voters to get back out on the 26th. Vote Yemi Kings for County Court Judge, the candidate with the most experience. Qualified candidate. A vote for Yemi Kings is a vote for a qualified candidate that actually lives in the district. And I'm going to be a vote, a qualified candidate and the most qualified candidate on the ballot. So I'm asking for your support on the 26th.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah. So it's going to be a real spicy day next Tuesday.
And be here before you know it, Commissioner.
Yeah.
5 days go by fast.
That's right.
Or 4 days, wherever it is right now.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 more guests that's going to come on. We got Miss Attorney Bridget Morgan, who was the front runner in the race. She'll be coming on in just a few minutes via virtual. Let me see if she's on there. Let me get on here. Hold on here. Let me see if we can get this technology working right here. It says her. Well, she'll be coming in just a second. We also have, let's see if we can get this working right here.
Got a little technology issue.
Yeah, a little technology issue. You know, right now we have Aubrey Norman's, BJ's balloon release
Yes,
going
sir.
on.
Yes, sir.
And Attorney Bridget Morgan is at the balloon release.
Okay.
And so that's why she's not in studio, but she's at the balloon release right now, paying respects to a wonderful young man. How you doing, Attorney? How you doing today? Hold on, let me see if I can get this volume right here. All right, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hold on here. I don't know what's going on here.
Go down to your sales commission.
Yeah, I see it down here.
Not that setting.
I don't know why.
You are right down at the bottom.
Right.
Down to the bottom more.
All right, can you hear me, Miss Attorney Morgan? All right, plug your earpiece in there. Let me see if we can get you on here. I can't hear you just yet. Yeah, help me out, Mr. Clark.
That's all. Yeah, they'll take your audio.
Speaker.
I changed. That's why I changed that.
To this right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, try it now, Ms. Morgan. She clicked off.
Yeah, bring it
But-
back in.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, these judicial races are critically important. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can get this working. All right, we got you now, Ms. Morgan.
All right, you can hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
So you find yourself in a runoff.
Yes.
That's what they say on the news.
That's what they say.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined by Attorney Bridget Morgan. She's always been a friend of the show for several years, but also she brings a wealth of experience to the judiciary. Because I started working with her at the city of Jackson, even though she was, active prior to that. But she did a great job backing up the city of Jackson, and as she's moved forward in private practice. But we've talked about these things in exhaustive detail over the course of the campaign. I just want to ask you a few basic questions.
Okay.
What was the final vote count for this race?
When what was that, Friday? This past Friday. Oh, the total vote count?
Right. How many people voted in this race? Because I went to bed, Kenneth Stokes says all the time, you can go to bed and win and wake up and lose.
Well, I had 50.18 the night of the election, and then it stayed there until they started counting absentees and affidavits. But it looks like 13,246, I believe, is the vote count. But there were more affidavits that just weren't all included. And I think part of that was because, like I said, the Supreme Court candidate Brandon, when she filed that lawsuit Friday morning, she sort of, put a rush on certifying the process.
Mm-hmm. So at this juncture, we're in a runoff, and you got a few days to get people engaged and activated in the whole process. Right now, you're at Mr. Aubrey Norman's balloon release. Talk about your relationship with Mr. Norman.
Yes, Lord God, shout out. I mean, I just want to give honor and praise to his family and his children, just that God keeps them and gives them perfect peace and let them not lean on their own understanding. But I met BJ actually when I was a public defender. And we was at Walmart and I was getting an oil change and he was too. And we just kind of talked and I told him I was going to get ready to run for office and all of that. And he just took a liking to my passion for the people. And so since then, he's always been like a phone call away. And so in this particular election, he had offered to actually, he said, when you win, I'll cater and do the food for you. You don't have to pay for anything. I'll take care of that for you. And then, he had a pickup truck as well. And so I don't have a truck. So I needed the truck in order to put my signs out some days. And so BJ let me use his pickup truck one morning. One of my signs was taken from the fairgrounds, and my son and I got up early that morning because BJ's kids had a game at about 8. And so he said, if you can get it back to me about 8 o'clock, we fine. And so he allowed me to use his pickup truck to put the signs back out. But he has been an instrumental person and just being able to call on him during this time. And so everybody still is probably in shock as to what happened and how it happened so quickly.
And so this is a multiple loss for you. You lost a good friend. You lost somebody home. And I tell folks, you got to be a friend. Because not only did we, that means you had to have been a friend, because BJ don't be friends with people who are not friends with him.
Exactly.
So, so that anchors you into our community. You were the front runner in the election, and you ran a great campaign. You're still running a great campaign, and we encouraging everybody to go out and vote. It's time to do it again. I'm a strong supporter of competent judicial races, competent people, and I'm a firm believer that we got good folks out there. We just got to pick them when the time is right, because we can't go back after the election and say we should have voted this or did this. You get one shot, Mississippi, and justice is on the ballot. So tell the folks what you want me to do and when you want me to do it, Attorney Morgan.
I want y'all to come out November 26th and look like the Staple Sisters singers say, let's do it again. Come back out November 26th and let's do it again, y'all. I mean, we were almost there. And like I said, I was a front runner in this race. I've sat down in people's houses. They made me breakfast on the campaign trail. I've been in people's churches and they prayed for me. And so I really connected with Subdistrict 2 this round. And I don't think they're going to change their minds November 26th at all. And so I look forward to them coming back out and doing the same thing for me. This particular district always votes for a Black woman if a Black woman is available on the ballot, and the Black woman is here. This seat was previously held by Larita Cooper Stokes, who was also the first Black woman in this seat. And so there are several other Black women who gone before me in different positions in this district. But you also have someone that's qualified, not just a woman, but also a qualified person who has sacrificed time, resources as a single mom to show y'all and to be able to convince you to believe in me. And I did that November 5th, and I'm asking for your vote. Nothing has changed, just the date of the race.
Okay, well, great. We appreciate you for chiming in. Send our regards to the family. We cannot be there today, but send our regards to the family and everybody who is there participating in the balloon release. And next week, you're going to come back and then we're going to have a victory party on the show.
In Jesus' name, it's going to be done. All right.
Thank you very much, Morgan.
Bye-bye.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Marcus Cheney. Dr. Cheney, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
I appreciate you, brother, for jumping on here at the last minute. But you got a very special announcement to make, and I wanted you to make it personal.
Sure. I want to thank you all for allowing me to be on. This is an event that the Mu Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity has had many years. We took a hiatus during COVID and a few years after COVID. But this is our 17th Image Awards and Scholarship Gala that we have had each year, recognizing individuals in our community for their great work. This event will take place November 30th at 7 o'clock at the Ice House, RSVP Ice House. This is conjunction with the fraternity's um, Crescent Foundation, and proceeds are going to scholarships for all of our seniors, not all of our seniors, but some of our seniors that will be graduating at our metro high schools in the spring. So we look forward to being able to recognize those students in the spring. But again, we are recognizing 5 individuals this year. I think that coming back from everything, we wanted to make sure that we took the time and the committee went through their selection process. This year in business and leadership, we're recognizing Miss Willie Jones. Most of everyone knows Miss Willie Jones. She not only runs her own trucking school, but she's also the president of Women for Progress. We're recognizing from the faith-based segment, Reverend Dr. Stephen T. Cook, who is the senior pastor at Anderson United Methodist Church. From healthcare, we're recognizing Dr. James L. Coleman Jr., who is the president and CEO of G.A. Carmichael Healthcare Center. Education, Mr. David Jemison, who actually lives in Memphis, but is a Tougalooan and does quite a bit here in the Jackson metro area. And for our service honoree, we're recognizing Miss Sandrina Doerr for her work, not only throughout the city, but her work that she's done for Zeta Phi Beta sorority, primarily the Rho Iota Zeta chapter out of Mendenhall, Mississippi. So these are the 5 recipients that we're recognizing this year. We're looking forward to it. We want to thank all of our sponsors that have been graciously and generously given to us. We do have a few tickets still on sale. And if you're interested in getting tickets for the event, please feel free to give us a call at 769-610-4046. And that's Brother Mark Young's number, or 601-355-5455, which is Brother Vernon Jasper's number. So again, we're excited. We're excited about this event, and we're very excited that we're coming back, and we look forward to our 17th Image Awards. One of the special things that part of this Image Awards, our national organization of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated will be giving a proclamation to the legacy and the history of Medgar Evers. And so we look forward to a number of our international officers being in attendance and to present that to the Evers family.
Well, the work that y'all been doing over the years is amazing. I know we got the Sleep Out coming out on Tuesday
On Tuesday night.
Yeah. Talk about those service efforts briefly before we get off.
Sure. So our Sleep Out with the Homeless is something that the fraternity has been involved in probably, I think, 13, 14 years, along with Mississippi Move, Inc. This is something that we actually, believe it or not, and Commissioner Stamps can agree to this. We spend the entire night, beginning around 6 o'clock in the evening, all the way till 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. the next morning. And we're actually not only we're inviting those to come out to give clothing, we serve food, but really the thing that we really like about it, we have an opportunity to dialogue with a lot of these men, women, and families, and really understand their stories. And I think a lot of people are, I know from our organization, are surprised to really in conversation know how these folks are highly intelligent. A number of them just, they've just had a bad luck of possibly losing their job. But again, we have an opportunity to dialogue. We've been doing it this year. Actually, Miss Aniva Pittman, who the park is now named after, used to come out there with us and sit out there, and we have a great time. But more importantly, I think it's about really raising awareness of what is going on in our homeless population in the city of Jackson, and hopefully with continue this recognition and continuing this awareness, we'll be able to bring some things to the city to possibly have other type of shelters and other things that are in the city for our homeless shelter population.
Well, we appreciate the service and duty that your organization has been doing over a number of years, over generations, but specifically here in Mississippi. Give the event details of the event one more time before we get off there. We got two.
Sure. It's Saturday, November 30th. Everything starts at 6:15 with a reception. 7 o'clock is the beginning of the dinner. It's going to be at the Ice House, which is located at 251 West South Street in the city of Jackson. And again, for ticket information, please call Mark Young at 769-610-4046 or Vernon Jasper, 601-355-5455.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in today and stopping by.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that rounds up another great show. We want to appreciate all our guests. Make sure you exercise your right to vote, either voting prior to the election if you qualify, but most definitely on election day. Justice is on the ballot like never before. Up and down the ticket, we have judicial races, I believe, in Rankin County, Hinds County, across the Central District, and several more. What's up, Hank? Oh, okay. And so thank you. Pardon words, Jason?
No, Commissioner, like you said earlier, as far as who we dedicating the show towards again, sir.
Yeah.
You mentioned that before we get out of here.
Yeah, Miss Tina Carter and Miss Aubrey Norman. I mean, great folks. Keep your family in their prayers.
Yeah.
Keep the whole community in prayers, because when you have untimely circumstances like this, it hurts even more. And I just want everybody to know that we will make sure that there have been some questions that have been raised, but we're going to make sure that those answers get served and justice gets served. You want to participate in those services. The homegoing celebration for Miss Tina Carter will be Saturday, November the 23rd, 11 o'clock at Bertha Chapel, 2606 Williamson Avenue, Jackson, Mississippi. She's resting at Lakeover Memorial Funeral Home. And they will have, you feel free to stop by, sign the book, and there won't be a public viewing, but you can go by on Friday beginning at 12:30. So keep those in your hearts and minds, and the families in your hearts and your prayers. And as we end every show, we always say, never let anybody put you in a position where you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own folks, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. I love you, Jackson. Love you, Mississippi. Handy, get us out of here, man.